Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Moving Markets Podcast. It is Wednesday, December the 10th, 2025. The U.S. stock market is going to be open for about, let's call it 40 more minutes. I have been sitting here for the last 20 minutes or so listening to our Fed chair, Mr. Jerome Powell. And I got to tell you, I've been very critical of Powell a lot in the past. And so far, I'm impressed with him not saying stupid stuff right now. I gotta admit, I went into this very pessimistic, thinking that we would get a rate cut and then Jerome would just completely throw a wet blanket over the fire, talk nothing but doom and gloom, talk about how no more rate cuts coming. This is the last one you'll ever see in the history of the world. The sky is falling. Trump is horrible. Tariffs are going to destroy our economy. I mean, I'm exaggerating, obviously, but that's kind of what I was expecting, was him to say a bunch of really stupid stuff that would tank the market. We've got pretty much the opposite happening right now at the time I'm recording this, obviously. And I know most of you that will listen to this are actually watching the markets right now. But right now, you got the Dow Jones Industrial Average up 550, the S&P up 56. And the NASDAQ up 120. When the announcement of the rate cut was first made, the NASDAQ sort of stayed down low for a little while, didn't immediately come up like the other indexes. But the Dow has just been gaining pretty steady momentum since the announcement and since Jerome started speaking. There's when the announcement came right there. You can see the spike up, wobbled a little bit, up, wobbled. Here's about the time Jerome started speaking, and it's been relatively steady to the upside, up over 600 points now. If my TV up in front of me has the slightly more accurate depiction of where we're at. So this is saying 604. My TV is saying 596, went up over 6 and dipped back down just a little bit. A handful of stocks that we trade, Palantir, Micron, Amazon, AMD, they're all up, having a good day. NVIDIA down a little bit. Applied Digital down a little bit. And Coreweave not down nearly as much as it was earlier in the day, but there's a few things that aren't doing great. Microsoft, we don't have an open trade on right now. It's getting hit to the tune of about 2.8%, almost 3% down. But the index is overall doing really fantastic. And thankfully, they hold. That there is sometimes, I'm still a little bit concerned that over this remaining 40 minutes plus tomorrow and Friday, you could still see a little bit of the buy the rumor, sell the news. Powell is still speaking right now. He's getting into those questions that are so dumb sometimes. I listen to these reporters that ask questions, and he'll address the question, and then the next reporter will ask almost the exact same question, just phrased a little bit different. And Powell, look, as much as I don't like him, I would do the same thing. He looks at him like, you can see the look on his face. It's like, are you really asking me that? It's so similar to what I was just asked, and you got to know that's frustrating for the man. But it is what it is. Things are looking good right now. I don't know what will happen the rest of today and tomorrow and Friday. We'll be watching it very closely, but this is a good sign. Powell just wrapped up his speaking, by the way. I just saw him. My TV's on in front of me. It's on mute, but I just saw him walk off stage, walk away from the podium. And so far, nothing that he said has spooked anyone and caused there to be a sell-off. I'm going to dive in more later today into what he specifically said, but the market's positive reaction at this point is a good sign. And I'll repeat what I said the last couple of days. I think if someone doesn't go in and start dissecting and specifically misinterpreting what Powell said, I think we'll get that rally that I was hopeful for. I think we'll see the S&P rally up to 7,000 before the end of the year. Plenty of trading days for it to do that without any of them needing to be like crazy over the top, wild, big, huge trading days. There's a lot of time for it to happen. It wouldn't be an out of this world crazy move. for the S&P to get up over 7,000. As it relates to trades that we have open right now, our DIA spread trade, or excuse me, our DIA triple play trade, looking good. I show it up a little. I show it up about 5% right now, but I also show it trading well above the strike price. Well, not well above. I show it trading at 481, and the strike price of our short call is 480. We just need to get into tomorrow and get into Friday with it still trading above 480, and we'll be able to exit this trade with a really nice profit. If you're nervous about it possibly selling off tomorrow, or if it starts the day wavering a little bit or tipping a little bit, I show 6% profit in mine right now. Take the 6% and get out if you're a little bit nervous about it. Don't stay in a trade and stay nervous about it. If you don't like what you see happening, get out if you need to get out. Our Micron trade, the new trade we did for the main SOS trades, looking really good right now. I show my Micron trade up almost 6%. This was refreshed a minute ago, but if I refreshed it again right now, I think you'll see that change and be closer to 6%. And now I'm showing 5.2%. But Micron is trading right now $13 above this 250 strike short call. If Micron continues to move up over the next couple of trading days, it will be easy to get that exit that I was talking about at 10, 11, 12% or more. What we really don't want with Micron, I've said this a couple of times, I'll reiterate it right now. What we do not want with Micron is for it to be up in this area on the day of earnings and us not be out of the trade yet. We'll take whatever profit we have if we're setting up higher than the strike price of the short call and we don't have our target 20% profit, we'll take whatever we have and get out. If Micron were to fall suddenly and come right back down here in between the long call and the long put strike price, I'd feel more comfortable going into the earnings report with only a couple of trading days following the earnings report. I'd be more comfortable thinking I could get out of it with a really nice profit with a move up or a move down. The thing you don't want is to be up here, have bad news, and have it come down, and in a couple of days of trading, land in between your long call and long put strike prices. That's what you absolutely don't want to have happen. By the way, just as I've been talking, the DIA spread trade, I now show at 7.7%. Look, I think the Dow is going to continue to push a little higher. I think DIA is going to continue to push up in the next couple of days based on what's happened and based on what Powell did today and what he said today. I'm inclined to leave this one alone because, again, if we get partway into the trading day tomorrow and we're setting, above 482, 483 on DIA, we'll be double the profit percentage we have right now. So I'm going to leave mine for right now. But like I said, if you're a little bit nervous about the market giving some back tomorrow, or today is still a little bit of the buy the rumor, and tomorrow the sell the news people start to move in, which they might. Then just exit the trade with whatever profit you have. Lululemon, I actually like what Lululemon is doing right now. It's setting right between our long call and long put strike prices. And remember, with Lululemon, they report tomorrow after the bell, but we have until next week, Friday. So I like what this is doing, because even though they're up today, I think they're up about $5 today, almost 2.5%. It's keeping them right here, where a good earnings report will take them way farther than what we need to see. A bad earnings report will take them down farther than what we need to see. So I like that we have earnings tomorrow, and we don't already see one of our long options in the money, and one of our short options even in the money. That's actually a good spot to be in. Plus, we have that time for it to go. It doesn't have to pop in one single day of trading after the earnings report tomorrow. So Lululemon looking really good. I mentioned Palantir is up really nicely. We are sitting right now at a 20% return on Palantir. I think I targeted a little bit more than that, but I got to tell you right now, I'm going to get out of Palantir right now. The reason I'm going to get out of Palantir is not because I'm not still bullish on Palantir. But I've mentioned a couple of times that I am simply waiting for the right timing, and I'm going to get into a long position on Coreweave, a bullish position on Coreweave, and I'm going to be kind of aggressive. Coreweave is down a little bit today after having a really good day yesterday. They're down a little bit today, but not down nearly as far as they were earlier. They've been down. Let me look. I'm looking at this on another screen. Coreweave has been as low today as 85.35. They're trading right now at 88.62. So they are a good $3 and some change higher than their low point of the day. And you can see right now, looking at this chart, the 5 and the 20-day moving average are crossing over. The MACD had already crossed over, and the RSI is right there. We broke 90 yesterday, but dipped a little bit below it today. It could still, there's time for it to still finish up around 90. But if we get this third technical crossover right here, and if we get another day that finishes above 90, which will, I believe, pull the RSI up over that 50 mark, which is a technically bullish indicator. If we get all three of those things, I think it will be a short period of time that CoreWeave will be back up here to between 120 and 130. I think it'll do that well ahead of its next earnings report. So I'm going to take the 20% on Palantir. I'm going to exit that trade, be done with it. We're in a Palantir collar trade. I'll probably get back into another Palantir spread trade. Maybe something non-directional just ahead of their next earnings. We've made some phenomenal money this year on Palantir. I want to free up the capital to get into another really good trade. Well, that's showing Micron up 10% right now on this spreadsheet. But in my portfolio, I'm showing Micron up about 6.5%. So I probably just need to refresh that again. These, when you refresh it, the data that I pull from marketdata.com, it's not always up to the second. And, one of these fields can populate and then all the prices change and the other field populates and it gives you a little bit of a misreading. But Micron is looking really good, 7.67%. I think it'll just be a matter of another day or two on this continuing trend that it's on. And Micron probably does go up to that 10, 11, 12%. I have a limit order in place, a good until canceled limit order in place for Micron right now. I did quite a few number of contracts. So I have one limit order in place at $4.55 per share. That's a solid 10%. I have another one in place for some of my other contracts at 460, which will put me up closer to about 12%. So I'm ready to kind of leg out of Micron. You can see that just changed to 2.2% when we refreshed it, and my live trading portfolio is telling me 8.2% right now. So there's, like I said, these spreadsheets, the way they refresh, are not perfect, but they're usually pretty close. And once the market is closed for the day, then if I refresh it, it'll be up to the moment and exactly where it's supposed to be. So I'm going to take the profit on Palantir. I'm hopeful to get out of Micron within the next day or two at a good profit. And Lululemon, I'm hopeful we get a big pop on Lululemon either tomorrow or Friday, but we've got some time for that one to run a little bit. And then our other trades are looking good. You go over here and look. AMD is up almost 10% now. Nvidia is down a little bit today, but Amazon's having a good day. They're back up a little bit. I'm confident the Amazon trade and the Nvidia trade will get profitable again really soon. And when they do, it's going to dramatically improve on this percentage return for the year. I mean, we're already looking at a fantastic rate of return right here. That'll improve a lot when we get Nvidia and Amazon back into even just back into break even territory. We'll be looking fantastic on that. So good stuff all around. All right. 27 minutes left for the market to trade. I think if my television set is right, it's touching a new high at 625 for the session. I think that puts the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Does that put them close to their all-time high? Not too far from it. Dow is not far. Right there at 48,115. The highest it's been today is 48,166. The highest it's ever been is 48,431. So you're a couple hundred points away from an all-time high on the Dow. And you know the Dow, look at today, 625 to the upside. The Dow could move a couple more hundred points tomorrow easily. Tomorrow and Friday, I'd be surprised if it doesn't move a couple more hundred points in total. I think by the end of this week, first part of next week, we're going to be looking all-time new highs in the Dow. I think it'll take a couple of weeks, week and a half or so to get to well, we might get back up to all-time high sooner, but to get to that 7,000 that I think the S&P is going to might take a week and a half or so. And then the Nasdaq, like I said, it's had the biggest recovery from where it was. It's got a little ways to go to get back up to its all-time high, but looking good right now. Everything is looking good. I'm really excited about where we're at, and like I said, pleasantly surprised that Jerome came through and didn't do or say something really, really stupid. And we'll take it. We'll take it and we'll be happy with it. And I'm going to use that as a spot to wrap up. And I'll be back on tomorrow around the close of the market. Thanks, everyone. Hope you're having a good day. Hope you have a great day tomorrow. Bye-bye.